Welcome to my table. I'm so excited that you have decided to join me. Listen, I've started, I've stopped, I've done a lot of different things, but listen, I am back and I am back in series form. This month, we're going to introduce a series called Thirsty Girls, and I really mean exactly what I'm saying. Thirsty. Have you ever met any girl that looks a little thirsty, looks a little needy? We're going to talk about her this week and we're going to give her some help. So I'm glad that you're here. Listen, what I need you to do is like, subscribe, follow, hit the bell, do everything you need to do to be connected to my page. You know who this is. This is Lady Doctor, and you are welcome to a seat at my table.
Hi there, and welcome back to A Seat at My Table. I trust that you have been following along and you are enjoying this series. The series that we are continuing today is called Thirsty Girls. Thirsty Girls. We are in our next segment of Thirsty Girls. If you have not seen Thirsty Girls 1 or 2, you can always go scroll down to YouTube and find it. The first segment we talked about thirsty girls and the men's perspective of a thirsty girl, and then we talked about the woman's perspective of a thirsty girl. We want to just remind you again what we mean by the term thirsty girl. It is a slang term that depicts that someone is desperately seeking attention, someone who is desperately seeking validation. More commonly, it is used for someone who is seeking sexual or romantic attention. So it's often referred to as the term needy. You've heard the term needy. So the term that we're discussing in this series is the term thirsty girl. So you have found a seat at the table as we are discussing this type of girl, this thirsty girl, and this concept that is used to describe her. So we talked about the male perspective, then we talked about the woman's perspective, but this is my most significant segment. I want to talk about the kids' perception. We often live our lives, and as children, we grow up and we become adults, but we don't even consider the amount of influence we have upon the young people who frequent our lives, who we have been blessed to have as part of our lives. So you have young people, children, and young adults who are watching every move that we make. Even babies are referred to as being the tabula rasa. That means an empty slate. And everything they see and hear, they repeat. So if babies are the tabula rasa and children are imitators of adults, then adults are imitators of other adults, young adults, older adults, even adults are imitating seniors. So we need to understand how valuable we are as women and as adults. The children are watching. So I want to just remind all of my thirsty girls out here that the children are watching. Perhaps this idea of seeking attention and needing validation and doing the most to get attention, especially sexual attention or romantic attention, perhaps that is learned behavior. It is very, very possible that someone you respect and someone you've watched and someone you've emulated had the same kind of problem that you might be having now. So I want you to take a moment and consider that it is possible that someone is watching your behavior. And just think about it. Are you enjoying the results? Are you enjoying where you are right now? Is it possible that you are craving attention because you want more? Is it possible that you are craving validation because you have not achieved a place of fulfillment in your life um, at this point of your life? And that's why you might be looking a little thirsty. And do you want that for any other young person who might be watching you? This is very important. So now let's just take a look at it. So let's say that, let's go back to the thirsty girl's physical image. So sadly, it doesn't matter what shape you are, what size you are. If you have a desire for attention, seeking romantic or sexual attention, um, it doesn't matter because they come in all shapes and sizes. The truth of the matter is, it's easily identifiable because, for the most part, the clothing is an indicator. What we wear in public, how much of our bodies we show, how much of our bodies we enhance, what parts of our bodies we make the key element in our outfits. If we are accentuating the positives and eliminating the negatives, I'm going there. If your bust line is your money maker, is your eye catcher, then the bust line is always noticeable in outfits and clothing. If the back bottom, the lower extremity on the back part is your attention grabber, then that's the part that's mostly enhanced in your clothing. So, am I saying in every single one of these sessions, I made clear that I am not hating on sexy. I'm not going against women who have a beautiful figure and don't mind showing it. If I had one, and when I did have one, I sure did show it. But that's different from being thirsty. I need you to understand that. If you worked hard on your body, you are in that gym working out, and you are disciplining yourself from eating and overeating, and you are not obese, and you have a strong, fit body and beautiful and curvy, is absolutely commendable, and you should be celebrated. But my point now is not about people who have beautiful bodies and who wear fitted clothing. My point is about women who are considered thirsty, who are doing the most with that body. And you have to remember the children are watching. So that's the point for today. The children are watching. So that you see these young girls, you probably have a wonderful personality, and you probably are a likable human being. You're probably smart. None of this has anything to do with who you really are. It's the image and the mindset that makes you think that you have to do more in order to be seen, appreciated, and validated. And that's where the term thirsty comes from. Women who get in the face of people and put yourself in rooms you really were not invited to, or force your presence on a group of people who you are attracted to get their attention. Now, I'm not talking about what they think, I'm talking about your intention. It's very possible that people are doing things, but their intention is not to get attention. Their intention is to do whatever they're doing. So I'm not talking about that person. I'm talking about the person who is actually thirsty, who is needing attention, who is needing validation, and will do almost anything to get it, and will wear almost anything to get it, and will put it on knowing that it's inappropriate clothing for wherever they're going. But they know that if they do this or they wear this, they are going to be the center of attraction, even if it's negative attention. And so people who crave negative attention, or any kind of attention, will take negative attention. They don't care if you're talking about them. The more you talk, the more popular they feel. But I'm talking about that kind of thirsty individual. But I want you to see it from the perspective of the children. If a child is emulating this behavior, then there is absolutely no way that that child can ever feel like he or she is enough. Because they're always craving attention. They always want more attention, and they never feel like they're good enough unless somebody validates them. And I don't mean a validation one time. I mean they need constant validation. They need their parents to validate, then they need the pastor to validate, then they need the teacher to validate, then they need their friends to validate, their friends, and social media. Now they have to have hundreds and hundreds of likes. They have to be very popular. They will do almost anything to get those likes and to get those followers. This is what it's become. We have people who are doing crazy, ridiculous things because they are thirsty for attention, thirsty for validation, and more importantly, in this segment, thirsty for romantic attention and sexual attention. That's what thirsty usually indicates. We have other subjects that we'll talk about in terms of attention needing and being needy, but this one, thirsty, is referring to sexual or romantic attention. These are the people who want to get married. These are the people who are desiring a husband. Maybe not. Maybe they have convinced themselves that they don't want a husband, they don't want a commitment, they just want attention.
I hope you have been enjoying these segments. Listen, if you're married, if you're thinking about getting married, I have a resource for you. When in doubt, go biblical. I've written an ebook called Biblical Marriage, and I want you to have it. The link is in the description. I want you to have this resource. It's called Biblical Marriage, and I promise you it will bless your life.
They just want attention. If that person gets married and they still crave attention, that person is going to be accused of adultery. That person is going to be accused of infidelity. That person is going to be accused of all kinds of things. It's going to cause all kinds of problems in the relationship because I'm talking about women today, she's still thirsty. If you are in a relationship with somebody, gentlemen that are on here or significant others that are on here, and you're in a relationship with somebody who's still thirsty, they're going to do whatever they need to do to get attention. They may not be trying to go to bed with other people, but they do need the attention. So they will answer the inboxes or send the messenger inboxes. They will tap in. They will get in the face of people. They will make themselves extremely irresistible in front of your friends. And you might be embarrassed because they are thirsty. And sometimes it seems like there is no satisfaction for the thirsty. The more they get, the more they crave, the more they want. And the more attention you give them, the more attention they want. And so that's why we're having this conversation. That's why the table is open. That's why I invited you to my table, so that we can first see what the problem is, identify it, and then we can go further to try to help people who have this kind of problem. Oh, yes, it is a problem. It may not feel like a problem, but it's a problem for those who are in the lives of these people who love them, people who are constantly trying to affirm them, people who are constantly reminding them, you are so beautiful. They say things like, you don't need any makeup, or you don't need all of that makeup, or you don't need to wear clothes like that. You're already very beautiful. Some of that is an attempt to give the validation that these people are needing. So we're going to continue this conversation until we get to a resolve, until we get to a place where somebody is being helped. Do I have time to sit on here and just talk about a problem? Of course not. Do I have the energy to just rag people out because they have personalities that I'm not approving of? Ain't nobody got time for that. I am here to help. And sometimes, if you don't stick around long enough, help seems like pain. It seems like pain. It seems painful. But we have to get to the truth. If you know anything about me, I am the president of the Healing Truth Women's Ministry. So I believe that healing comes through truth. So we have to deal with the truth about what men say about women who appear thirsty, what women say about women who appear thirsty, and then how this behavior affects our children. You have to notice that little girls don't dress like little girls anymore. If they have thirsty mamas, they're gonna look like thirsty babies. Little girls walking around with clothes on that are clearly too sexy for a 2 year old or a 5 year old. Children now are wearing lashes and nail polish, and I get it. It's a thin line between wanting to be beautiful and wanting attention. So we have to make sure that we are not passing this problem down to our children, and our little girls are walking around thinking that they have to do more. They have to do more and do more and do more to get attention, that they have to push themselves in places where they're not invited, that they have to do things in order to fit in crowds that they don't even need to be fitting in. If we feel like they have to wear designer clothes and we keep buying all this and designer that, and these children don't feel like they're enough if you put on a regular clothing on them, and they don't feel like they don't want to wear it. They refuse to wear it. Or children who get extensions in their hair too young. They will not go out that door without that long hair, because that is who they have become, and that is what they have become accepted as a child with long hair. So we have to be really careful doing these things to our children because we want them to look a certain way. And now, if your child doesn't care, if she has a short ponytail or a long ponytail, no matter what you do to them, then that child has a good chance of surviving without ever becoming thirsty as an adult. But if you have a child, she's 5 years old, and you take her hair off, and she refused to go to kindergarten because her hair is not on, and she's afraid of being teased, and she doesn't want people to know what she really looks like, we have created a problem with a 5 year old. You may not like it, but that's what's going on today. And children are very mean to each other. And by the time you get to middle school, they're hard on you if you have cheap clothes, or if you have non-designer items, if you carry knockoff pocketbooks. And these kids are out here feeling like they need those things in order to be accepted in the world. And somebody did that to them. It's learned behavior. So I want us thirsty girls, I want you to hear me. Your behavior is not just for you. The men are watching, the women are watching, the seniors are watching, the clergymen are watching, the church people are watching. Everybody's watching your life. The school teacher is watching. Your boss is watching. And if your boss goes on Facebook and sees another person than the one he hired, you might, end up having to explain yourself because you represent all these areas in your life. So I want to tell you, if you are a preacher, if you are a public speaker, and you are there to represent the gospel of Jesus Christ, you need to know that you have to curb that thirst. You have to be able to preach to people without looking like you are needy, without looking like you need sexual or romantic attention. And this is my point. I'm not saying that you should wear new clothes, finer clothes, clergy garments, or any of those things. But there is a look that indicates that I really am on the market. And not just clothing and not just makeup, but body language. And body language speaks louder than words. Eye contact, lip licking, and all the things that we do to get this person to know I am interested in you romantically. I have my mind on us together having sex, and it's showing in my face. And across the board, it goes across the board. Nobody wants to go into an emergency room and have the anesthesiologist breathing all in their face and making all kind of faces and making sexual inside remarks. You came there to get yourself healed of whatever's going on with you. And by the same token, nobody wants to go into their lawyer's office and feel uncomfortable because the lawyer is putting the moves on them. So the clothing, the body language, the facial expression, because you need a relationship, because you want to have a romantic relationship with somebody, doesn't mean they want to have one with you. And you might get embarrassed. You might get humiliated by somebody who is disgusted by that kind of behavior. And I'm here to keep you from having to go through that, because that will send you into a whole nother syndrome of problems. And that's why we're talking about it. It's a subject that came up. My team wanted to know, what are we going to talk about? And it's the thing that people are talking about. And they talk about people behind their back. They backbite. They're killing them. They're killing them dead. But when they see them, they're giving them a big old hug. And ain't nobody saying, we acting like we don't see all this cleavage up in our face. We acting like we don't see this BBL job all over the place. And we can't talk about it because it's not our business, but we do talk about it behind their back. So this is a platform for me to say something, and you can respond, but you don't have to. I'm just saying I am here to help. And if we can't help each other, then we don't need to be on this planet together. So we're going to move past. Finally, we're going to get past what people think, what people see, what the men see, what the women see, what the children are seeing, and how our behavior affects the children. And then we're going to move into our next segment, and it's going to be the healing portion. It's going to be the seriously helping portion, because we're going to see what Jesus sees. We're going to see what God sees when he sees us. He doesn't see a thirsty girl. He sees a girl who does not know who she is. He sees a girl who needs to know who she is from the perspective that matters. And so we're going to move into that in our next section, our next segment. And I hope that so far this has not been so daunting that you ran away. I need you to stay until we get to the healing part, especially those who are in the amen corner in your house, in your office, and you better tell them. That's right. You tell them, oh, these nasty girls, da, 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 da. You need to be on my next segment. You need to be at the table. Don't miss the table the next time, because you're going to be a part of the healing process. I'm a part of the healing process, and everybody that's watching, I want to show you how to be a part of the healing process. If you can't help, then you are a part of the problem. If you refuse to help, you are a part of a continuing problem. If you love the ladies in your life, if you love the community that you're in, and you want to see people reach their potential, and you want to see some of these thirsty girls recognize who they are, who they really are, and what validation they really need, then you want to be at the table the next time we meet. Thank you again for joining me at the table. A seat at my table is open for anyone who wants to listen. And if you don't want to listen, press the bye-bye button. But stay with me. We're going to talk a little further about how Jesus sees us, thirsty girl. Love you. See you soon. Bye-bye.